productive, enthusiastic. We spent a lot of time on implementation, which is going really well. In fact, I met yesterday with Natalie Quillian, and she is the Deputy Secretary, Chief of Staff in charge of implementation. So we talked a lot about that and other things, and it was a great meeting. I want to thank Senators Reid and Blumenthal and Hirono for joining me today. So first on McCarthy and the debt ceiling. So this morning, Speaker McCarthy did an interview demanding to sit down with President Biden to negotiate a debt ceiling. Yet, to date, after constant requests, Speaker McCarthy has yet to produce any type of plan detailing what specific cuts he wants in raising the debt ceiling. Today he said, what about $4 trillion in cuts? Well, what are they? A number is not a plan, especially a number that's so vague and amorphous that he doesn't name anything specific at all. So, if they were to sit down, you'd have to ask yourself, what are Speaker McCarthy and President going to talk about? The weather? Without a plan. We have a plan. We want to pass the debt ceiling without hostage-taking, without brinksmanship, and just get it done like we've done under both Presidents Trump and Biden. They still don't have a plan. If Speaker McCarthy truly has a plan, then lay it out. This isn't about a number. It's about having details, facts, simply put, a plan. And at a time when our country needs a solution, the Republicans in the House are giving us just brinksmanship. We say back to Speaker McCarthy once again, because he hasn't advanced the ball one jot, show us your plan. The reason he doesn't want to do it, in my judgment, my humble judgment, because he can't get 218 votes for any plan. But the idea of saying what he said over and over again, let's meet without a plan, doesn't advance the ball forward one bit. We have a plan, they don't. Okay. Now, on the military generals, which is what we're mainly here to talk about today. As some of you know, a very troubling situation is developing in the Senate. One senator, just one single senator, my colleague from Alabama, Senator Tuberville, is blocking all general and flag officer confirmations, taking our military, our national security, our safety hostage. For years and years and years, both parties have worked together to quickly confirm the routine promotions of generals and flag officers without partisan bickering, without needless delay. It's important to be clear that Tuberville is not just blocking a targeted group of nominees. He is blocking all senior military officer promotions, creating a ripple effect, severely hindering our military's work in critical areas like Pacific and the Middle East. Our general to NATO, he's one of the people he's blocking at a time when we have a war with Putin in Ukraine. It's just horrible what he is doing. One member is blocking all of these people. Now, it's very simple. The senior senator from Alabama wants to make personal health care decisions for the women of our military. Not only does Senator Tuberville want to control the decisions women in the military make about their own health, he's willing to hurt our troops and our country to do so. Now, gonna get stuck together. Here we go. So the senator from Alabama clearly risks permanently injecting politics into confirmation of routine military promotions, something risking our national security. And for what? So he can push the MAGA hard line on blocking women's choice, which the vast majority of women and all Americans do not support? That's beyond the pale. And let's be clear, the senator from Alabama's delay has been for months. It's reckless. It puts our security in general. Among the 160 nominees include 5 three-star generals, commanders for U.S. naval forces in the Pacific and the Middle East, areas we're confronting China and Iran, respectively, and, as I said, the U.S. military representative to the NATO Military Committee. I know, he's saying I feel passionately about this issue. Members often feel passionately about issues. I do. Every one of us here does. But you don't. If every senator who felt passionately held up all of our appointments to the military, our military would collapse. Collapse. Plain and simple. So, the obstruction is dangerous for our national security. I urge my Republican colleagues on the other side, a few of whom have already spoken out, to prevail on the senator from Alabama that what he is doing is very damaging to America, to our military, to our security, and not really fair to these general officers who've worked their way up and have schedules of promotions and then get delays for no reason that their fault. So as we wrap up this work session, I want to turn to Senator Reid, our chair of the Armed Services Committee, to further elaborate on this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank